Hi everyone, welcome to the Sports Editor. Focus on your ability. It's something that really hit me quite hard recently. And how it all began, as I said, I was actually in the room and sorting a few things out, and I heard a song playing, and it got me thinking, because it repeated the same line 4 times. And it said, focus on your ability, focus on your ability, focus on your ability. And so I thought, wow, yeah. And I had to sort of think about this for a while. I couldn't just up and do this video, but it got me thinking that how true is that? And I'll start off with the first word, focus, because as you all know, in this crazy situation we find ourselves in, that's where I think a lot of people are least focused now. We got our minds all over the place thinking about all different things. Instead of focusing on what we're good at, what are we good at, and working on those abilities. And it's interesting because we get so distracted because there's so much on the go. So we all start something and then we've got to look at what that person has said, or there's a news headline there, or something has said something about that, and we get distracted. Focus on your ability. Focus. And also focus on things that are good. They're going to add value to who you are as a person. And there's plenty of good things out there. There's plenty of good YouTube videos out there. There's plenty of good books. There's lots of good information out there. You've almost got to have like a filter that just takes in those good things and avoids all those bad things, because there's a lot of it out there as well. There's so many distractions that you could actually never really get to where you want to go, because to focus on something now is becoming harder and harder and harder. It's almost like you want to get taken down the wrong avenue, but don't. Focus on your abilities. It is so critical right now. And to add more to that, exactly that, your abilities. And you might say, well, what do you mean? And please bear with me, because this will all add in together at the end. You'll see, if you just watch this for the first 2 minutes and say, oh, whatever, you're going to miss the whole crux of this. Watch, it's so important. Okay, so focus on your abilities. Because if you look at July last year, the Sports Editor didn't exist. It wasn't there. And now, fast forward a few months later, it's here. So you have the ability to create something out of nothing. You really, really do. If I can do it, you can do it. But it takes focus. It takes a lot of work, and trust me, the work is not easy. It is not easy, but it's worth it. So you can create something out of nothing. If I can do it, you can do it. Focus on your abilities. And the other thing that's so important as well, I learned this from my grandpa. The one time I decided, no, I'll help and I'll do the dishes. I was a picky, I was tiny. So I did all the dishes, feeling very proud of myself. And he came through and he said, Ryan, you haven't done the dishes. And I sort of looked around and I thought, well, I haven't. I said to him, but Grandpa, there's nothing left here. He said, no, look, come. And he showed me the sink. And there was a bit of dishwashing liquid, soap and bubbles and things like that left behind. He said, you see, you haven't completed the job. And at that time, I didn't really think about what he was saying. And I thought, well, whatever, you're having a bad day. Until it struck me now, later on in life, is that how often do you do that? And I'm guilty of that as well. You'll get a job, we'll rush through it, we think we've done it, and we haven't taken the time to do it as well as we can, because we're not focusing on one thing at a time and trying to get it as well as we can. And it's a learning curve. There's no way you're going to get nailed the first time. I mean, look at my program, I make lots of mistakes as I go along. But if the attitude is right and the intent is there, it eventually will kick in. But it's just about getting those little things right consistently, doing the job as well as you can, especially in this time. But you can only do it if you focus on what you need to do. Focus on that ability. It is so important. And just get those little things right. We're in a society now where it's rushed, you got to go half an hour there, half an hour. No. Do it as well as you can, move on to the next thing. Time management is also absolutely essential. I know it's difficult. You've got to wake up early hours, you've got to work through the whole day, come home till it's difficult. But that's why it's so important, just to focus on what you're good at and work at one thing at a time. I'll never forget the lesson from my grandpa. It was so important. Absolutely brilliant. Loved every moment of it. Still do. Another thing that's so critical with focusing as well is that a lot of people say there's a problem right now, there's problems. Yeah, I prefer to refer them as situations. And what I mean by that is there's good situations and there's bad situations. You see, because eventually they move on, they change, and things improve, hopefully. In your situation, hopefully things do improve. But you see, a lot of the time people say, the problem will take care of itself. It'll sort itself out. It's impossible. Nothing can just sort itself out. There's a problem, and it's either dealt with, someone deals with it, and then you think, oh look, see, it sorted itself out. It never happens. That problem, that situation, couldn't just disappear by itself. Someone dealt with it, someone sorted it out, someone faced the issue and dealt with it, maybe on your behalf, and you don't know. But that's also an important thing, is that people will say, there's a problem, don't worry about it, it'll take care of itself. It's highly unlikely. You've either got to face it, or you've got to get people closer to you and work through it. And it could be a job situation, could be a personal situation. But I just know that in this life there are people who are willing to help you. You've got to let them know. That's the critical thing. You've got to let them help you. So I'd like you to change that word from problems to situations. There's good situations, there's bad situations. Try and sort out those bad situations. Try and deal with it head on, and don't delay it. A lot of the time people will say, yeah, we'll think about it maybe later, or yeah, don't worry about it, it'll just blow over. It doesn't. It's because someone has dealt with that situation that you probably don't know about, or if you leave it for later, it manifests and it ends up becoming something a lot more serious. So deal with those situations. It's very, very important. I trust that through this time, and going back to what I said initially, the ability to focus. It's so good to wake up in the morning and just have a plan of action for the day. Wake up, you know what you need to do for the day. You know, if you just go through the motions and say, right, I'm going to do this now, I'm going to do that now. How is that helping you focus? How is it helping you get some direction in your day? Because before we know it, this lockdown's going to be over. It's going to be over. Gone through the motions, or have you said, right, I've got to do this, and I've got to have a plan of action. I've got to be able to move forward to it. And the big thing, a huge thing as well, is trying to connect with people. Connect with as many people as you can, because people have knowledge, they've got wisdom, and you'll be surprised who's got these fine little nuggets of wisdom, and you could just take that and you could run with it, and you don't know what it could lead to. It'll lead to something brilliant, I'm sure. But connect with people. This is not a time to just say, sit at home and watch TV all day. And there's so many ways to connect now. My goodness me, look at social media, pick up a phone, talk to someone, get an idea of what you want to think, put it down, connect with people in a good way, and you'll be surprised what pearls of wisdom that can come from them, and just how you can grow as a person. And I'll tell you what, throughout this whole experience as well, you'll be surprised what you're capable of achieving and what this mind can actually do, and the skills you can learn. I never thought I'd be able to edit this photograph and Photoshop and do this and do that, and you can. Yes, and some people will say, oh, you got a different vantage point. Yeah, that's a very sensitive topic, for a lot of people, in the sense that you've had a better start, and it's work rate. It's what you want. It's what you do with your time. It's what you want to be as a person. A lot of the time people will say, yeah, but you had it better than I have. I highly doubt that if that person's had it better than you, that person's probably just worked harder. It's a tough thing to say, it really is, but you'll find that some people quietly, just methodically working at a plan, they've got a side hustle going, they're doing extra teaching on the side, they're doing whatever they're doing to make things work, and you'll be surprised how successful they become. And I'm hearing more and more stories of that, which is brilliant, about people just being able to knuckle down and get going, because if there's a time to work hard, it's now, but keep working hard, because then it becomes a habit. Focus on what you're good at, focusing on yourself and getting better at what you can do, and you'll be surprised what you can achieve. I really hope that it inspires you, I hope that it encourages you, and at times to face these tough things. It's not easy, it's a lot of self-reflection, it's not easy, but it's necessary. And I want you to encourage you, focus on your abilities, focus on what you're good at. And like I said, if I can start something out of nothing, You can start something. You can do it. You've just got to be prepared to put in the extra work, put in the hours, feel good about yourself, believe in what you do, and it just all work out for you.